All right, so I think everyone should be able to see the gift of resources to empower to document. There's a lot of different great resources, and of course, feel free to pop your questions into the chat as we come up to them. So the first one is our the regulatory and compliant related resources. And right on the list is the Illinois Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. Now, what we do is we are resident directed advocates. We're not there for the staff. We're not there for the families. We are there strictly for the residents. So if you come to us with a complaint as a family member, just know we're going to go and talk to that resident first and see if it's a complaint for them and if they want us to do anything. You can find more information about the Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program at this link right here. And my chat box disappeared, so I can't put it in like I normally do. Then we also have a Home Care Ombudsman Program, and I believe I saw Joe on the call if he wants to take it from here and talk about the Home Care Ombudsman.
Yeah, for sure, Stephen. I'll take it from here. I'm gonna, if you could stop sharing, I'll share my screen and just give a quick little presentation to everybody about the Home Care Ombudsman Program. All right. So I'm Joe Danner. I'm the Deputy State Home Care Ombudsman. I'm just going to do a quick little presentation over what the program is so you guys know about it, spread the word. It's just real quick about the scope of the program, who we serve, and the services we offer, which are all 100% free. The purpose of the Ombudsman Program, just like Stephen was talking about, the long-term care side, is coexist with the home care ombudsman side. We're actually housed inside the long-term care side. So the Ombudsman Program as a whole ensures that residents of long-term care facilities and participants who live in the community have their rights respected, receive quality care, and live a dignified life at the highest practicable level. The structure of the program, like I said, is the Department on Aging, the long-term care, and the home care ombudsman are housed there. It starts with the state ombudsman, Kelly Richards. Then there are two deputy state long-term care ombudsmen, one for the northern area, and then one for the southern and central area. One's deputy state home care ombudsman, which is me, and I serve statewide for the Home Care Ombudsman Program because it's a much smaller program. The long-term care side has 17 regional offices throughout the state, and as Stephen said before, advocate on behalf of residents in long-term care facilities. The Home Care Ombudsman Program has staff located both in Springfield and Chicago, and we advocate on behalf of participants receiving in-home services. Participants would be enrolled in MMAI or HCBS waivers, and I'll explain those more here shortly. Just real quick over how the Home Care Ombudsman Program started in 2013. They amended a section of the Illinois Act on Aging to expand the long-term care ombudsman program to cover seniors and adults living in the community, not just in facilities. The program began actually providing the advocacy and assistance in 2014, and then in 2017, it was restructured into what I just explained now, housed in the Department on Aging and providing advocacy statewide. The goal of the Home Care Ombudsman Program is to provide education and advocacy to participants who receive services through the Medicare Medicaid Alignment Initiative and or services through select home and community-based waiver services in order to reduce the risk of placement in a long-term care facility. Our goal is to keep people receiving services in their homes for as long as possible, or as long as they wish. And I'll apologize now if I have to cough or stutter throughout. I have young children in my house, and this time of year they bring home all the good germs from daycare, and it's just a constant struggle. So if you hear me coughing or anything, I apologize in advance. So who exactly does the Home Care Ombudsman Program serve? Older adults and adults with disabilities who live in the community and are enrolled in Medicare, Medicaid Alignment Initiative, or received home and community-based services through waiver programs. The Medicare Medicaid Alignment Initiative is a partnership between federal and state government levels. It allows eligible beneficiaries in Illinois to receive their benefits from a single Medicare Medicaid plan statewide, not have multiple plans receive all their benefits and care through one plan. The waiver programs provide services that allow individuals to remain in their own homes or live in a community setting instead of an institution or long-term care facility. There are 9 waivers in Illinois. Each waiver is designed for individuals with similar needs and offers a different set of services. There are 4 of the 9 waivers that the Home Care Ombudsman Program covers. 3 of those are through DHS, or the Department of Human Services, and that is persons with disabilities, persons with HIV or AIDS, persons with brain injuries, and then 1 waiver through the Department on Aging, which is persons who are elderly, and that's adults age 60 or above. So now that we know who we serve, how can we help? Well, we educate participants about their rights. We investigate and work to resolve complaints made by or on behalf of participants. We use problem solving as our primary means to ensure that participants' rights are understood, honored, and their complaints are resolved. We engage in participant-driven advocacy. Ombudsmen do not act without the permission of the participant. That's the big one. As Stephen said about the long-term care side, how they advocate for the resident, we are 100% participant-driven. We advocate how they want and for their needs and services. Again, it is 100% free. We assist participants with filing appeals or as an authorized representative during the fair hearing process. We assist participants if they need to file grievances. We provide referrals. It is not a duplication of services. We are not case managers. And again, like I just stated, it's all free. So when an individual reaches out to the Home Care Ombudsman Program, they normally do it through the Illinois Department on Aging Senior Helpline, and I'll provide that number here at the end of this presentation. Standard mail, or the Home Care Ombudsman general email inbox, and I'll provide that email address as well. When those come in, the Deputy State Home Care Ombudsman reviews them and then assigns them to a Home Care Ombudsman. The Home Care Ombudsman reaches out to the participant to then work towards a resolution to their complaint or inquiry. My staff also attends outreach events. As you can see here, we attend all sorts of fairs, senior events, legislative events. We speak at councils like I'm doing today, or board meetings or conferences, but we're always looking for more. So if you guys feel that there's an event we should be at or our services would be wanted, please reach out and let us know and we'll attend. The next couple slides are just showing how the national state of emergency affected the services that participants received. COVID affected everyone's lives, as it did so with the services. A good way it affected the services is that participants' hours may not be reduced or terminated during the national state of emergency, even if they no longer meet the determination of need score, or they no longer meet financial eligibility, or are considered non-compliant, cannot be reached, or they did not reapply for Medicaid. In any of these instances, they still will receive their normal set of hours until the national state of emergency ends. They still can have their case closed for the reasons listed, such as passing away, moving out of state, transferring, or if they would like their services to be terminated. Now, again, this is just during the national state of emergency, which I'm not sure when it's coming to an end. Last I heard, it's going to be extended through April, but when it ends, all these things are very likely to change, even though we hope they don't. So we've gone over who we serve and how we serve them. So when should you contact us to help? Well, if you are a participant or you know a participant who feels their rights have been violated by the providers, reach out to us. If the participant needs assistance with filing appeal for a decrease in service hours, termination of services, service hours not being fulfilled according to plan, if they're only fulfilling some hours, reach out to us. Or if there's a lack of action or response from the actual provider, please reach out and we'll assist with getting them to respond to the participant. You can also reach out if the participant needs assistance with filing a grievance, or if there's just any general questions about the services offered by the Home Care Ombudsman Program. We will always respond, even if it's outside the scope of our program. We do our best to give an appropriate referral to someone who can help the individual, such as the local Center for Independent Living or an organization such as Equip for Equality, who can then help the individual. So to contact us, like I said, you can do standard mail or the Illinois Department on Aging Senior Helpline. The number is right there. Just call and ask for the Home Care Ombudsman, and they will email us, and then we will reach out to you or the participant. Or you can email us at aging.hcoprogram@illinois.gov. So pretty quick, brief overview, hopefully painless for everyone. But if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And I just want to thank you guys for giving me the time to do this, just to get the word out there and just let everybody know about the services we provide.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, but I do have one question. How much does it cost to call a home care ombudsman?
Nothing.
You mentioned it a few times, so I'm guessing you get that question a lot. But
it's something we like to put out there because it is a question, and when people hear, the first thing that comes to someone's mind when they hear services is they're like, well, how much do these services cost? So if I say it enough, then they don't even have to ask the question.
Yep, that's the truth. And it's the same way with the long-term care ombudsman program. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. Thanks, Joe. And
so I have a question for Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Joe, this is Carrie Lauderdale. Hi. So when people are receiving home care services, should their care service provider, especially when they're doing their annual reviews and some of that, shouldn't they be educating the customer about your services? Because honestly, I never knew this existed for people that received home care services.
I don't believe it's required that they inform individuals about our services, but we recently have recorded a separate training presentation that's now going into the CCUs and MCOs recertification process. So they will learn about us just as you guys are, and we are also spreading the word out as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other questions?
All right. Again, thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Lee. Any other questions you come up with later, feel free, reach out. If we don't have the answer, we'll do our best to get it to you.
We will definitely let you know if we have any questions for you. Thank you very much, Joe.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So getting back to our list of of resources, we also have a wonderful sheet, which should be up on the screen. Yes. It is different types of long-term care facilities in Illinois and the laws and regulations and the advocacy agency that you can contact if you're having any concerns. So we see facility type, federal law, federal regulation, state law, state regulation, and then the regulatory and advocacy agencies. Basically, the difference between a law and a regulation is the law tends to be very broad, and then the regulation tells how they're going to actually enforce the law. So if we click on the federal regulation, this is the State Operations Manual, Appendix PP, the guidance for surveyors. This is a fantastic resource for anyone who has a loved one in long-term care, well, specifically a nursing home, I should say. And let me just look up something real quick. I'm going to look up bath, just the word bath. So far, it's counting up. I know there's 105 because I did this earlier, but there are 105. The word bath is in here 105 times. So if you're having trouble with bathing, you can look up bath. If you're having trouble with lunch, you can look up lunch, and that's in there. Anything that has to do with a nursing home, you can find it in the regulation and see what the surveyors are going to look for. It can be very helpful to anyone who's having trouble with how their nursing home is treating them. It can also be a good resource for staff if they have any concerns. All right. The residents' rights booklet right here, and I can click on it too so people can see it a little bit better. Everyone living in a long-term care facility should have a residents' rights booklet. And this really, it's very self-explanatory. It goes through your rights as a long-term care resident, and it explains where to find them. Right to dignity and respect, right to safety, right to participate in your own care. We're not going to go through all of this. There'll be a resource later linking you to a video where we do go through all of these. Brochure on electronic monitoring. So very briefly, residents of nursing homes have the right to put a camera up in their room. And I can't tell you how important this is, but we all know that even cognitively intact nursing home residents get, their complaints are sometimes gaslit, sometimes just ignored completely. And electronic monitoring can provide that evidence for complaints. It can provide reassurance that your loved one is getting good care, if that's the case. It can also really protect residents. We had a situation here in my area where there was a staff who was sexually assaulting people with dementia, and the people who had cameras were not getting assaulted because he would get caught if he had been on camera. He eventually was caught, thankfully, got 26 years in prison for it. And Carrie, I see you popped up.
So, yeah, so we're gonna add to this conversation, and hopefully the person that contacted me followed up with you because they're in your district. If your resident, if your loved one has a roommate, they do have to have permission from your roommate. But that does not mean that just because you're in a memory care or dementia unit, that you have to have permission from every person in the building because they might wander. I had somebody call me recently whose facility made them take the camera out because they were trying to require permission from every resident in that building because, you know, they had memory issues and they might wander into a private room. And it was a private room on top of that with a camera. So please do not let your facility bully you when it comes to cameras. It is your right. It is your loved one's right. In the end, it can be your lifesaver in multiple avenues. I mean, my son has all the technology in the world, and he has chosen he doesn't want us to be able to drop in, but he can call us and I can see every inch of his bedroom. And, you know, if he's in his wheelchair and he moves, the system he uses actually follows him around his room. So, but again, it is, how is it done that is respectful? You know, his roommate has a curtain, the curtain is pulled. We don't go over to that side of the room with the cameras. But at the same time, don't let the facility bully you into not doing it, because they will try everything in their power to get you to not put a camera in your loved one's room.
Yes. And yeah, and a lot of times what I see is the nursing homes will kind of take things a little slow as they can. So if you feel like your nursing home is moving slowly, give us a call and see what we can do to help. And I really wish nursing homes would do more for you know, to promote electronic monitoring, because honestly, it helps them as much as it helps the resident.
And actually, I'll add an example to that. So my son's roommate has body temperature issues. The room needs to be at a minimum of like 74, 75 degrees. And that's a reasonable temperature. But we kept having issues of nurses turning the heat up and turning the heat up. And no matter what I was saying to our director, they weren't catching it. So I got to the point that every time he would call me and video chat me, the thermometer, and there is a very large thermometer, an outside thermometer in his room. Every time he would call me and video chat me, I would take a picture of what the temperature was to show my point of, yes, this room is running 80, 82 degrees, which is not acceptable for anybody.
Yeah.
So little things like that. These cameras are not there to nanny cam you. They're there to help if you use it properly. Yep. And you can use it to communicate with your loved one, which is even better.
Thank you, Carrie. Another resource we have, Joe mentioned a little bit ago, the senior helpline. Somebody named iPhone, if you could mute. I'm not sure who that is, or Lee, if you have the control to, thank you. So the senior helpline, and they, you know, they're not just there for the home care ombudsman. They will connect you to whatever services you are needing. Just call them up, describe to them what your situation is, and they will let you know where to go to get that resource. Our next topic is general long-term care information. So we have the Resident and Family Support Council. course, the goal of this council is to educate and connect people about issues relating to residents and families in the long-term care system. They happen the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 3 o'clock. And previous meetings can be found at this link. And then, of course, you can also go to the YouTube page. And eventually it will load. And you can see all of the videos that we've put up on here. So it's really a great resource. We have videos on your rights as a resident, sexual expression in long-term care, a lot of stuff on COVID, which is, it's been very important throughout the pandemic, trying to keep people informed. I don't know how that happened. Oops. I think I accidentally dragged something from my desktop over. Anyway, meaningful engagement during the holidays. There's lots of great videos here. And then this one will be on once it's finished. All right, now our next one is the consumer voice. So funny story, I had all of these links loaded up beforehand, and I was trying to clean everything up and close out because I've got the Word document that I'm showing all of you. And then I've got the one with all of Lee's notes on it. And I was closing things out and I accidentally closed my internet tab because I had a Word document up and I thought, oh, I don't need that Word document. And I closed it and I lost everything. So I apologize to make everybody wait for my computer to load. But anyway, so the Consumer Voice, it's a national organization. They work to educate people and provide resources on issues relating to long-term care. One of the things I want to highlight is their policy and advocacy page. They have reports on staff turnover, on CMS guidance, an article on using the 5-star quality measure to mask bad care, staffing matters. They have different articles and those change as situations change. They also have a list of all the legislation that they're supporting. This is a fantastic resource, and you can go in and read up on these issues and then call your local legislator and say, hey, I support this bill, I support that bill, and let them know why. Because if we really want to make lasting long-term change, it's going to be through the laws. The care plan information sheet. I can pull this up quickly because I know I have this one loaded if I can get my computer to work right. There we go. So the care plan quick reference sheet, this tells you what kind of different types of facility, so skilled and intermediate care, and they refer to the care plan as a care plan, and what the minimum frequency is. So within 48 hours or every 90 days. Assisted living, it's called a service plan, and they have to be done annually. So this is a great resource, and it also links you to the federal and state regulations as applicable. Different advocacy groups is our next heading. Of course, we have the Ombudsman Facebook page. My computer is going to be difficult with me, but it's a Facebook page about the Ombudsman Program. We share information about this meeting. We share links and post things in relation to long-term care and advocating for those residents. The Illinois Caregivers for Compromise is they have another Facebook page. And Carrie, would you like to talk about the Caregivers for Compromise?
Sorry, Stephen. Sorry, you know me, I do 5 things at once.
Oh, I know.
So our page isn't overly active right now, but if somebody gets on, I will respond. We started when the pandemic started because we needed a voice for our loved ones to be able to get families in when we were locked out. We're still working with both state and federal legislators to pass bills to make sure we are never locked out again. Our federal bill will be reintroduced sometime in the next week or 2. It will be given a new number, but it is the same bill. We actually, hopefully with some changes that are going on in DC, hopefully we can actually get our bill heard in the next 6 to 9 months is what we're being told, which would be huge. And once we have a hearing date, we will tell people, because the more written testimony I can get from people, the better. Sorry, I have a few dogs. And the same thing with our state bill. As Charlie Myers actually and Jill Tracy and them have asked me to look at what we had, and we're going to reintroduce, trying to get some state legislation done also. But in the end, we're still here for support. So if you're having a problem, if all of a sudden they're telling you, oh, you can't come in because we have a flu outbreak, or, oh, we had 2 cases of COVID, we're not going to let you in. They're not allowed to do that. They have to allow you in. They have to allow your loved one their rights. And that's what we're here for. And if we can't help you, I'll send you to Stephen or to Lee or to somebody else. But we're here to support each other and hopefully eventually change the laws so none of this ever happens again.
Thank you, Carrie. And yeah, it was, I'm glad it's not a very active group anymore, because that means things are getting better. But like
You
Carrie said,
and me both.
like Carrie said, if you are needing some support with something, and it's not always just about access. It could be anything that you're needing some support with, or you have questions on. They have a really good community there of people who are living it and maybe have ideas and advice that can help you along.
And that's actually a good point there, Stephen, because where we did start because of access, we've supported each other through everything from end of life to care issues, to how to get, things updated and done the best way possible for our loved ones. So whatever we can do, we are there to help.
Wonderful. So our next resource is Equip for Equality. And their mission is to advance human and civil rights for people with disabilities. And they have resources for assisting with legal issues that you might encounter in long-term care. And it's somewhere down here. You can click on the link to get legal help. if you're needing it through Equip for Equality. Another fantastic resource that we have in Illinois is the Illinois Guardianship and Advocacy Commission. What they do is they have some great links to provide you with information on guardianships, and this group supported the supportive decision-making legislation, which encourages people with developmental disabilities to go through supportive decision-making, so a person is assisted with making decisions rather than the decision is being made for them. They also provide services for state guardianships if a person doesn't have someone who can act as their guardian or power of attorney. We, as ombudsman, this is kind of a last resort that is there if a person absolutely needs it. One of the ways that consumers, people who are living in the community, people who are living in long-term care facilities, one of the things you can do to avoid coming under a guardianship is to have a good power of attorney document written up, have quality advance directives laid out. Do it now. Don't wait until the last minute, because when you get to the last minute, that's when you get in trouble and end up having to go under a guardianship sometimes. Different websites to empower you in making your long-term care choices. You can compare nursing home quality. So this website kind of tells you what they're looking at. And when I say they, I mean public health looks at when they're doing health inspections and determining nursing home quality. So they're looking at health inspections, they're looking at the nursing home staffing levels, and they're looking at the quality of resident care. You can also call the ombudsman to find out about long-term care facilities. A lot of times when people ask me, they'll say, well, how is that facility? And I can't really answer questions like that. I can't tell you if they're good or bad because that's up to you. But, and your personality and, there's a lot of different things that go into if a place is good or bad. But if you call me and ask, is there a place that has a cat because I really like cats? I can tell you which facilities have cats. I can tell you which facilities have dogs. I can tell you which ones allow you to smoke. So that's one way to find out about some personal preferences. But in the nursing home compare, and this website is medicare.gov/care-compare. And you can use this to search for nursing homes in your area. And you can see right now it defaults to a distance of 25 miles from where I'm at. There are, looks like 13 nursing homes within 25 miles of me. Not all of them are in Illinois. Some of them are in Missouri because this is a national website. But one of the things you want to look for is the star rating. The star rating, 3 stars is average. In Illinois right now, 11.5 tags, and a tag is like a demerit on their annual survey. 11.5 tags is average. If you get a lot more than that, then you're going to go down in the star ratings. If you get less than that, you're going to go up in the star ratings. You can see right here, there's a red hand. That means that that nursing home has been cited for abuse sometime within the past year. If we click through, we can look at those objects, those items that went into the rating, health inspections, staffing, and quality measures. And we can actually go in and view those even, view even more details. We can see the full report, which was completed on 8/11/22. We can see the number of citations that they had. We can see the number of complaint inspections that they've had, and the number of citations that they've had from those complaint inspections. So this is a very powerful website if you take the time to go through it. Another website you can look through is the Illinois Department of Public Health's nursing home inspection surveys. It's got a lot of the same information as the CMS website, but it's or the Medicare website. It's got a lot of the same information. It's just a little different format. You can click right to the surveys for whatever facility you're going to. I would click through to it, but I see we're running a little short on time. The Illinois Department of Public Health long-term care informational page. This will give you a information on the nursing home violations in the last quarter, and in first, second, third quarter, and it goes all the way back. Looks like to 2005. So there's a wealth of information here. There's also information on advanced directives, how to select a nursing home, the veterans homes, and let's click on the advanced directives. So this will give you information on how to assign a healthcare power of attorney, how to set up a living will. It's very important to go through this information and get it set up when you still can. Nursing Home Inspect. Now, this is an interesting website, and I've only really picked through it a couple of times. We can click on Illinois and then scroll down, and you can actually see what facilities have had the most deficiencies, the most serious deficiencies, and the most fines. So if we want to sort
What
that.
did you say this was called, Stephen? I've never seen this.
This one is called project.propublica.org/nursing-homes.
Okay.
And it's called Nursing Home Inspect is what it's called. And it can show you, like I said, how much they had in fines within the past 3 years, how many serious deficiencies. This can really help you choose a nursing home, because the more deficiencies they've had, the more serious deficiencies they've had, I'm not sure I'd want to send my mom to a place that has a lot of deficiencies.
Will you
And-
send me the link? Oh, never mind. There's the link.
And I think Lee could probably put that in the comments.
She just did.
All right, thank you, Lee. The Illinois Pioneer Coalition. It's another great website. And if you look at the resources, you can click into information on my mouse, and my whole computer is being finicky today. But it's your way, how to find dignity and choice in a nursing home. This is a fantastic tool that you can use to see what are your personal preferences and what are your needs in going into a nursing home. And this can kind of help walk you through it, walk you through that decision. The Consumer Choice website. Lee, it was brave of you to put that on here. We're just going to skip that one, unless it's been changed and it's worthwhile. 25 common nursing home problems and how to resolve them, published by Justice and Aging. This one's not wanting to load for me for some reason. But basically it walks you through some of the more common nursing home issues and what you can do to resolve them. And I apologize, it's not wanting to load on me for some reason. Who do I contact if I want to move somewhere else? The Colbert Consent Decree it came out of a class action lawsuit that requires the state of Illinois to provide Cook County nursing home residents with the necessary supports and services to move out of nursing homes and into community residency. To be eligible, you must live in a nursing home that is located in Cook County and be receiving or eligible to receive Medicaid. So again, only Cook County. The Williams Decree is another class action suit that resulted in those Illinois residents living in institutions for mental diseases and all those being admitted into an IMD in the future to be informed of their right to seek community placement and be offered an evaluation to determine if that option is right for them. So there's some information in this document on the Colbert and Williams consent decrees. So feel free to, Lee, if you can put those in the chat, that would be fantastic. And if they apply to you, then poke through them. The Illinois Department on Aging's Community Care Program. Let's see if this link will work. So this just talks about different services that are available to help people who they might need nursing home care, but it would help them to remain in their home a little bit longer. So if you're a person who's in the community and you're looking at maybe wanting to stay in the community a little bit longer, the resources at this page can really help you. Talks about eligibility, people who are 60 and older, US citizens, resident of Illinois, and then different services, adult day services, automated medication dispenser services. Those can be really helpful for a lot of people. Emergency home response, and then of course, finding assistance in your area. Another resource for people is the United Way 211. Just for sake of time, I'm not going to click through that, but it's a resource to connect you to local resources that might be able to help you. Pandemic-related resources regarding visitation. We have the CMS visitation guidance and the IDPH visitation guidance. Lee, if you can put those in the chat, that would be fantastic. These resources are very powerful, especially if you are being told no, you can't visit. And of course, we have AARP, which I think everyone is familiar with, advocating for retired persons. Magazine resources. The Chicago Caregiving Magazine. It's an online publication for people. It's a free magazine that has a lot of great pertinent articles in it. There are things like 7 resources for veterans available now, and another article on how to explain dementia to kids. It's a tough topic right there. Skilled Nursing News is another one. It's an online source that provides news covering news and information on skilled nursing homes. There's a lot of interesting articles, particularly around the workforce issues, and they can help lend insights as to what is happening in the long-term care industry. And as we know, staffing right now is difficult. And then finally, we have some dementia-related resources. The Alzheimer's Association, www.alz.org. They have a lot of different resources, trainings on Alzheimer's and dementia, and help and support. I know the local Alzheimer's associations will often host support groups for family members of people living with dementia. And honestly, the support groups are very, very much a needed service for family members. And then the Illinois Cognitive Resource Center. This organization, they've taken charge of the Dementia Friendly Illinois project, which is where you can find out more information on what communities in Illinois are working to become dementia friendly. And there are other resources and information on navigating your dementia journey there. And their website is ilbrainhealth.org. And that comes to the end of our list of resources to empower part 2. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And I apologize that I went very long today, but it's a good list of resources. So do we have any questions? I'm not seeing any.
Stephen,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't see any questions come up through. I posted a lot of the links. And I do want to make sure that everybody knows that this sheet will be posted on our website. I'm going to get it posted up there as soon as I can after this meeting, so anybody can click on the resource sheet directly and then be able to get to any of these links that we also put into the chat. And I also want to publicly say thank you, Stephen, so much for your assistance today, because this would not have worked well with me trying to talk like this. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Lee. And I always tell you at the end, yeah, I'm always the one watching the clock for you. So our next meeting will be January 10th. Is that correct, Lee?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And what is our topic for that?
It's going to be about family councils. We're going to do it on connecting with each other through family councils. So I think it should be a really great topic, and it's something that's definitely needed for people to have that support right there within your own facilities or even in your own area. So I think it'll be a really great topic.
Yeah, that sounds like it will be very informative, and I look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you so much. I'll stop the recording right now. And if I will stop the recording.